believe in democracy within crypto. We want everyone to have the opportunity to benefit. We build tools, we build communities. We are changing the space for the better. We are the exception.
Well, that was pretty cool. I think that was very, very cool. That's actually one of the songs that one of our community members put together. His name is Zai. Zai. I'm not sure if you're here, but if you're here, thanks a lot. That was really, really awesome. I like how you knitted some of the accept philosophy in here. It could very well become the accept theme song, but we'll see what other people have put together. We have a few others coming, a few other songs of one of our community leaders. One of our community leads, Daniel, put this great DJ competition together, and so this was the first song that came about. We had four winners or four participants, and they all will be played. So every consecutive space will have one of their songs, and we'll listen to them. And I quite like it. I mean, that was a very, very upbeat kind of beat. I loved it. Sir PT, are you there?
I am here. I'm still vibing to Zai's community song. That was great. How are you?
That was pretty cool, wasn't it? I mean, he actually, or they, I'm not sure, whatever. He, they, him, her, they, whatnot. Um, had some really good things in there, like the whole philosophy. We are exception. I love
It was
that.
awesome.
So in that spirit, let's jump into an exceptional week of transactions, sandwich transactions, and also soon to be market making transactions. Let's look into all of that. What happened this week? Maybe we start off with some very, very exceptional transactions that we could see on the blockchain that you may want to share with the community.
Absolutely. And to start off with that, we've received from the people that are doing a lot of data research on our smart contract, on our MEF contract, and keeping track of everything that's happening over there. And there's been a lot of interesting transactions. First of all, the amount of transactions have ramped up significantly. I'm sure everybody has seen that in the community. There was a statistic shared, and I believe it was over 500 transactions in a day the other day. So that's amazing. It's ramped up significantly, and that's due to all the updates that have been put through by the dev team. So that's awesome. Let's see for some interesting transactions.
So what does this? Let's talk about this. What does this mean? Does this mean that there's the MEF is becoming better, more efficient, spends less gas? What does this mean that there's more and more MEF transactions?
Most of it is it's due to improvements and also infrastructure improvements on the back end to spot more opportunities, catch more opportunities, but also some settings. And one important thing that we'll touch up on later is also some bundling transactions with other tools within our ecosystem. So that's quite interesting to ramp up transactions, and we'll be seeing more of that for sure.
Okay, great. So essentially, you're making it more efficient. How? Yeah. So I think we're going to go into that, but that's quite amazing. So you said there were a few bundling transactions that you would like to share. Do you have a screenshot or something we can share in the exception chat so people can look at that and then you can talk about it?
Yeah, sure. Let me check real quick. We've seen. I've received some data. Let me forward it in a second. First of all, we have an example right here where we see back-to-back sandwich transactions in two blocks that are right after each other. So that's great. Normally, or previously, we've seen that there were longer gaps between MEF transactions, and we're now starting to see that they become more frequent. Obviously, that's due to the also amount of transactions on a daily basis. But this was very interesting that the first transaction was on the XOR and Ferret pair, and the block right after there was another opportunity on the Smiley pair. So that was great that to see that these were back to back on these blocks.
So is this something unique to the exception, the MEFception algorithm or bot, or is that something that other MEF bots do as well?
Yeah, it's not unique to the accept bot. Other bots do it as well, but it showcases that we're increasing our competitiveness in the MEF bot space, and getting these transactions more frequent rather than more gaps in between. So other bots would be able to do so as well, but everybody's basically fighting for the same pie. And in this case, we got the pie 2 blocks after each other.
Nice. Yeah, I think people don't quite understand what that means yet because it's very technical. But what it will mean down the road is that it will translate into more MEF opportunities, more treasury funds, more rewards in the reward system. Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, so on the buy side, as we do more transactions, and if our ecosystem evolves and grows and more transactions take place that we can bundle with these opportunities, that means that the profit margin increases. There will be more opportunities for users, and that means from the buy side that we are able to fill the reward system, the reward treasury more. And from the sell side for the users, that means that there will be more opportunities and more direct profits from these opportunities because it's more efficient.
Perfect. Okay, well done for the development team. That's quite a big accomplishment, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. I would like to share one opportunity as well. That's interesting.
Go on.
One second. Here we go. And this shows an opportunity on 3 different tokens, but on 4 different pairs. And we've had similar ones before. And this is interesting that you'll see that the first swap is on the ETF token, the second swap on LPT, third on RNG, and the fourth one on LPT as well. So the second and fourth opportunity transactions here are on the LPT token, but the first one is on the Uniswap V3 pool, and the last one is on the Uniswap V2 pool. So the bot was able to recognize that it could catch a more efficient pricing if these tokens were bought on 2 different pools rather than just either V3 or V2.
Interesting. Wow, that's very smart. So there's also like arbitrage opportunity taken advantage of between V2 and V3.
So you could say this is a precursor of arbitrage functionalities. It's not the same, but it's in the same region, because you would have to check multiple pools and see price discrepancies and try to catch those. And this is where it caught the most efficient pricing on 2 different pools. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, great. That's very exciting. Shall we look at what happened for the alpha tester? So I just wanted to go back a little bit, step back to last week, and discuss quickly what actually happened during the alpha testing. So I, including some other people that were testing, found ourselves quickly in that situation that we were hunting more for MEF opportunities than for profitable tokens, because we were so excited about the whole MEFing thing that we kind of forgot that it's all about finding something where the price goes up, and not only where you get your MEF transaction out. So what we found is that if a token dies 90% of the price, your MEF transaction is not going to save you from your loss. So it is still good to actually hold things in your wallet that you want to hold, and that you're committed and believe in that the price will appreciate, and not only to buy stuff where you hunt for MEF opportunities, because you're still subject to the price action of that particular token, what you're having. And I mean, it seems logical. It's reasonable, and everybody has that mind to think about it. But there's this little trap that you feel like, oh well, there's a MEF. There might still be some MEF opportunities. Maybe if I hold on to it, my MEF transactions will make up for that loss. It's rarely that case. I mean, we've seen some huge MEF transactions of bringing back like half an ETH within like one MEF transaction. That was actually a great exploit that happened 1.5 weeks ago. But that doesn't happen regularly. So it is important to buy things that you actually want to buy, and not just not just because it's a MEF transaction. I just wanted to throw that in as a learning for everybody in the community when you actually use it, to keep in mind.
Yeah, that's a very good point. There will still be people hunting for opportunities and going for that, but the tool is meant for as a very unique addition to your normal trading behavior, and to get some profits, and by that way lower your cost basis on your token holdings. And I can imagine that when onboarding happens, the people will it's a new shiny tool that everybody wants to try out and see what the limitations are. So I do expect there will be a lot of token huntings for that, but it's meant to be as an addition. Absolutely, I agree.
Right, exactly. It's just good to, like I said, it makes total sense, but there's this trap, and I just wanted to make it aware of it. It's a mental trap, but still, other people might still fall into it, just so you're aware. Okay, so I saw there were in the bot have been some updates as far as like the buy side goes. When you post a contract inside the bot, then it gives you instantly, um, it recognizes, okay, you don't have that asset in your wallet, and it gives you like a pop-up where it gives you different options, buttons for buying 0.1, 0.3, 0.5, 1 ETH, X ETH, and all ETH. By the way, it would be great to have that option in the settings to predefine these buttons with your personal with your personal settings. So some people, the lowest might be 1 ETH and the highest might be 20 ETH. For other people, it might be 0.1 or 0.05. So it'd be great if people can actually set them individually. Just a little feature request here from my side.
Awesome, great feedback. Duly noted.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So yeah. So you get a little honeypot safety feature where it shows you is it safe to buy or not. It shows you the holders, the token name, the contract, the LP, the LP address, and then it shows you what pool it is, what liquidity it has, the buy and sell tax, max buy, max sell, and then it gives you the links to the different DEX tools and DEX screener, and then you can go ahead and buy it. So that's like a feature that was not there before. Before it was just like you had to go navigate through clicking on the buy button, and then you gave your contract, and it gave you a few options. Now these options are increased, and the same goes for the sell side. When you go on the sell side and you post the contract, it gives you the option to sell all or sell X amount, and then that will also expand into selling like different percentages. And I spoke with the team before, and I know that they will also like include sell certain percentages and stuff like that. So it's getting more and more sophisticated. It's getting more and more like the usability of the Telegram bot itself gets more and more like how a lot of you are used to with Maestro or some of these other tools. It's getting more aligned with those, and at the same time the team is trying to make adjustments and improvements on whatever is edgy on the other tools to get an advantage and make it obviously look better. So those were the updates I could see, but I'm sure there's updates I couldn't see, and I would like to ask you what happened this week as far as updates go.
Absolutely, yeah. I think one of what you've just mentioned, I've sent an image of that for the sell percentages, and that's implemented on. We have a development, a dev version of the bot to basically test the utilities and the functions before we push it to the alpha version, and the following will be pushed very soon. That would be the sell percentage options. If you want to sell a token, that you can choose for a percentage to sell. If you paste a contract, that you have a toggle button to choose between if you want the buy menu or the sell menu. That's very useful. There will be a refresh the data button. So the data that you've already mentioned, but added to that is the market cap of the token and the latest price of the token, and those can be refreshed as well. So those are very useful for that side. Also, typing command. I know we've discussed that in private a little bit. That what type of typing commands would be useful. And we are testing that right now, that rather than pushing a button of 0.1 ETH, for example, you can type it in the message box real quick if that's faster. So those are options that are being implemented and tested on the dev version right now, and once we're satisfied, can be pushed to the alpha testing version.
That's awesome. That's very good.
Yeah, and one of the last one that might take a little bit to push for the alpha version is that we've just had a push for the dev version for multi-wallet testing to get multiple wallets in the Telegram bot and use those for trading, or in the Marketception version, for example.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. I really like that. I think, then it becomes very, very sophisticated as a tool to use, in like a day-to-day kind of situation. So, okay, great. So is there, it feels like we're getting closer and closer to more users being able to try and use it. Is that so? I mean, you obviously, please don't say a date. I know you won't say a date, but it feels like we're getting closer and closer. Is that so?
Yes.
Yes, that's a good answer.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, quite a bit of boxes need to be ticked as well, but we are most definitely getting closer to planning a more wider onboarding stage, and that will be paired with marketing as well. So that's definitely being planned in the background, and we're getting quite close to it. Yeah.
Very good. Very wonderful. So we have that, and now a whole new utility was actually introduced that does not exist in that way for communities, or for the average investor, for the regular retail person to use, which has been introduced now, which is currently only known to, as far as I know, just one person, and that one person is here. He is the first ambassador. Tell us about this. We've been speaking about it for quite a while in the other spaces, but now it's becoming real. It's going live. And what will this mean? Let's talk about this a little bit.
Absolutely. That's the Marketception product of our ecosystem, which is a very unique tool, like you mentioned. And it's very useful for both on the user side, for either DCAing into position or out of positions, setting grid trading, for example, but also very useful for projects as a market making tool for their token. And last week we've announced the ambassador program, and we were very happy to announce the ambassador Rich, Gems of Ra, Simon, myself and my partner as ambassadors, and Pope Smoke. And we're very happy also to announce that we are in very close to onboarding the first project for the testing stage of the Marketception tool. And all credit for the ambassador Rich Ape to spearhead that process and onboarding the project first to the Marketception tool, which is a great feat in such a short time frame.
That's awesome. That means one person or one project will actually start using the Marketception tool very, very soon.
Exactly. Yeah. We can't announce which project yet, then, but there is.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine. So then we went over this last week already, but I just want to reiterate and repeat some things, because not everybody always listens to these spaces. So what does that mean if another project uses the Marketception tool? And what does the Marketception tool mean? Just give a repetitive answer for those that are not aware.
Yeah, for in essence, if you check out the market that we're in, a lot of projects see their token as also as a marketing tool, and want to add in certain areas of the chart. They want to add liquidity, or perhaps subtract some liquidity, and they do that via buys and sells. So, for instance, if a token comes into a sell zone or a buy zone, then the Marketception tool can trigger buys at certain based on certain parameters, either intervals, amounts, and the price that is set, and trigger buy transactions, basically adding liquidity to the market that way. So that could be strategically, a project can strategically use that tool for their token, and basically market make on their own token without just being having just stand by with their token, or have to go to other external parties that charge a lot of money. And this is combined with the ambassadors, which advise these projects oftentimes already, so they know exactly how to strategically use those tools. What that means for us as Exception, that means that all the volume that goes through the market making tool, the Marketception, all the volume of these projects are subject to the fee percentage that we have set. So that means a revenue stream within the ecosystem, and based on the flywheel that we've been posting since the start of our project, that means that a significant part of those fees will be used to fuel the reward treasury for the users.
Excellent. So, wow, because I mean, there's a lot of volume going through some of these market making activities, and if we now count, like, I don't know, 10 big projects or even 100 big projects, and each of them does like a million 24-hour volume through market making activities, that's quite a bit of fees that will be collected.
Exactly. And if we are able to fill our reward pool even more, that means that it becomes also way more valuable to become an active user of our product, which basically kickstarts our entire ecosystem.
Because you're getting paid to use it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a very different concept than any of these other bots where you pay. In any other bot, you have to pay to use the bot. Here, you're getting paid to use the bot. Plus, you have all these other opportunities to make money with. It's a whole different game.
I fully agree.
Very smart. I mean, you came up with a very smart thing. That's why I'm here, because I'm impressed. Okay, so this is rolling out. First project was signed. More projects will follow. When will this particular tool, will this also go into public hands where people can just use it to scale out of a position without hurting the chart, for instance, or entering a position without pumping the chart, stuff like that? Is that something that the community will be able to use down the road as well?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. That's why it's such a valuable tool for users as well, because especially people trading with size, it's a very powerful tool. Because imagine having to set limit orders at a certain point, and when that price has been reached, you perform a sell transaction that gets only at that specific price. And if you trade at larger size, then you can, if the price goes up, you can just DCA ease out of your position without holding the price down or something like that. So it's a very useful tool to scale out of positions more easily, and also get into position more easily, because I'm sure it's always dependent on the liquidity pool size, but I think everybody has been in the position where the trade size that they want to buy is quite large based on the liquidity pool. And for some people, that's a liquidity pool of 10K. For others, that's a liquidity pool of 1 million, for instance. But if you want to get your position in and the liquidity pool is not sufficient enough to directly get your entire position, that can be a struggle to get all the transactions through. And with this tool, you can basically set it and forget it, basically.
That's fantastic. I mean, I was just made aware of that. Of course, for projects on a B2B kind of side, the projects also usually have to pay quite a large sum to market makers, not just providing the liquidity for the market maker to do the thing, And then there's also the trust level that you have to have with a market maker when you hand over liquidity for the market maker to, handle your chart and hopefully handle it gently and handle it right. But there's, fees involved in that. Whereas now the project can use a tool, skip the third person, keep the money in their own wallet, have full control over the whole thing, and therefore just like be a lot more efficient and keep the trust level here. Because I've seen it in many projects that third-party market makers were onboarded as these experts and all of that stuff, and they ended up grinding through the market making funds, basically destroying the chart, canceling every pump, and it was a horrible thing to see. And in the end, some of that money was just like gone, which is really, really bad. I mean, that's a bad example. There are good examples out there too, but in any case, they all cost money.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody becomes a market maker using Marketception. That is fantastic. And currently the space is in this whole the low cap space is in a position where larger players take oftentimes advantage, and they're like, okay, they buy early, they fill their wallets with like 3, 4, 5% or whatever across a few wallets, and then they find their exit liquidity, they find their exit pump, and then they oftentimes end up full stacking into the chart because they're just impatient when they move on. Now, you cannot change the character of a person's personality, and if whether they care or not, you can't change them, but you can give a community a tool to make it easier for them to actually be a better person. And these full stackers, they hurt a lot. They do hurt a lot. And the community, oftentimes people that buy early and they see a full stack, and then or they buy late and they see a full stack person, and there's like 30-40% price impact of their sell, then they freak out and they start selling, and things start spiraling out of proportion. They start spiraling down. Whereas with a tool like this, people get the opportunity to scale out gently. Now, they might still not do it, but at least they have an opportunity in their hand. And I think that's a really, really great tool for the community to have and take advantage of it, hopefully.
Absolutely. And I imagine that there will be projects that will be contacting large holders and to see if whenever they want to exit, that they would provide such a tool to them if they are onboarded with Marketception, that they can do it for them, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's happening. The community will be using that. What else are we expecting right now?
We're full focused for the next week on the Marketception side onboarding for the first project testing, and we'll be syncing with Rich and the project that he has brought for this, and that's the main focus right now, and we'll definitely continue development of the other tools as well.
Wonderful. Okay, well, I'm very, very excited about this whole Marketception situation, because it's going to be exciting to see which project actually gets involved, who is using it. I don't know if we can see who is using it, but we can definitely see as a community the fee influx that comes into the wallet. And I think in one of the last latest posts a few days ago, you gave all the wallets that are belonging to the treasury and so forth, you made that public so people can actually see what's happening in there. And I think that's a nice thing to keep an eye on, to have that transparency. In many projects, you don't get that transparency. You have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. So PT made it all transparent for you to see where the money goes, where the money comes from. And so if you want to keep track of that, you can. It's all there.
Exactly. That's a good point that you asked for a summary of the week, and actually missed that we moved to a new wallet infrastructure for multi-signature. That was it. I missed that actually in the summary.
Oh, good, man. That was a very, very good thing. Okay, well, exciting. We even went 5 minutes over, but that was good. I think we covered a lot of ground, and I'm happy to see where we're going with this. I mean, a lot of things happened already in like what? How far is it now? 6 weeks? Has it been 6 weeks already? Probably,
I think
roughly 6 weeks.
I think so.
Roughly
Yeah.
6 weeks. Yeah. So it's very exciting, all the stuff that has been happening, and yeah, I mean, I'm in my birth language, you would say I'm fire and flame. In English, you don't say that, but in my birth language, that's what you say. And I'm fire and flame about what's going to happen in the future. And that's the expression that came to my mind. I know in English you don't say that. Never mind. So thanks again for that song in the beginning. I'm going to post that in the community for everybody that wants to actually have that, because it's a fantastic theme song. And then we'll see what theme song we will be playing next. I think there's some kind of reward tied to that whole theme song situation. Daniel will be updating in the community. He has already, but he will say it again what it will actually mean. It says that some person, yeah, you'll be able to, ask personal questions, or direct question, not personal, obviously, professional questions to our lead, and yeah, so much more. So then you will update you. Thanks everybody for joining and tuning in. Much love to everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Bye.
Mevit, baby.